Welcome to Chicago Jewish Cafe. Today we have a lovely guest. Her name is Whitney Frisch. She is a great person living in Ohio, and she's doing now something very, very special. She's baking things to combat anti-Semitism. And she organizes with two other people, as I understand, the whole campaign around baking in order to give the Jews some way to protest the rising wave of anti-Semitism, and at the same time maybe raise some money for worthwhile institutions that could also put up resistance to this wave that is rising not only in the United States, but worldwide. Whitney,
Yes.
how are you today?
I'm very good, thank God. I'm very busy. I am the executive director at the Hillel at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. I have three kiddos, two who are home right now, and I have made the very impulsive decision to take a road trip with my kids actually to Deerfield, Illinois this weekend, where my cousins live. So
not too far away.
Yeah, managing a lot, but doing great, thank God.
So let me ask you a question. What is this bake sale to combat anti-Semitism, and how can baking do anything about anti-Semitism that killed millions of our people in the past?
Yes, it's a great question. For me, it really, and I apologize, I'm also cooking lunch for my kids. For me, I'm active on Instagram. I've built a wonderful community of folks, mostly Jews, who also bake and cook. And I was having conversations with some of my colleagues that I've met through Instagram who are Jewish and are thriving Jewish bakers and cooks, or just bakers and cooks who just happen to be Jewish, but we all felt very frustrated by the hypocrisy of the progressive left movement, leaving Jewish voices out of the movement, feeling extremely frustrated by the hypocrisy of the kind of armchair activists and activism that we see in, this social media generation. And we really wanted to be able to do something with that was productive. We didn't want to be armchair activists. We didn't want to replicate the hypocrisy, and we wanted to make sure that we were doing something with education, and baking is extremely therapeutic. And so we just decided, well, maybe we could raise some funds, educate, and kind of build this collective of people around the same issue and do something. So that's
the
what we ended
basic
up
idea
doing.
is a therapy.
I mean, isn't everything? It should be. The basic idea is education for others while also giving us an outlet for our frustration.
How many people took part or are taking part? Because as I understand, it started last Friday and it's going to continue through Sunday, right?
Yes. And honestly, it's not like if anyone decides last minute that they want to join. Every single day I've been getting emails from folks. How do I join? How do I join? So it's not like if it's past Sunday, we won't accept funds. And, if we could do this forever, let's do it. I don't have the capacity.
You're telling me that you're going to accept money anytime?
Yeah, I know. Shocking,
wow,
right?
That is very
revolutionary.
Unusual.
I know. Revolutionary.
So, but besides money, what is the idea besides raising money, for worthwhile institutions,
right,
whichever those institutions are? What is the idea? I mean, I understand that for you, it seems like an idea to do something about it.
Right.
I mean, something within your capacity.
For us, we wanted to see how many people we could reach and educate about who the Jews are, why anti-Semitism matters, to shed light on the hypocrisy of the left and the progressive movement.
But do you think it matters? Do you think it matters? Do you think Americans do not know who the Jews are?
Yeah, I think that there's a misunderstanding. I think that most specifically in America, I think most people think that Judaism is strictly a religion and it begins and ends there. And
But you're not going to change them. The Reform movement insisted on that idea that Jews are religion only in the United States and Germany.
I'm not super interested in getting into that debate or making any claims or making any decisions about our own community members and their decisions. What I am interested in is educating the non-Jewish population about the fact that we are not only a religious community, but we're also a racial community, an ethnic community, a cultural community.
Have you talked to anti-Semites?
I think that, no one has come out and said I am an anti-Semite, but I was born and raised in Marietta, Georgia. And I think it's something that's ingrained in a lot.
I do not mean if you talked to anti-Semites in the past. I'm talking about if you talked to anti-Semites as a part of your bake sale.
Am I reaching out to people who have expressed
anti-Semitic views that you want to explain to them what Jews really all about?
No, it's not that kind of education.
No?
So it's not.
Okay, please explain.
It's not like me reaching out to someone who's expressed really closed-minded or perhaps violent or aggressive opinions about Jews. I'm not interested in that conversation, nor am I interested in coming into contact with someone that's that aggressive. It's so I'm not sure how familiar you are with Instagram, but when we put out
a little bit, your page on Instagram,
right?
We're gonna put a link to it because I love the baking goods there, and I love your attitude there. But I have to say, I don't go to Instagram that often.
So there's a function of Instagram called Insta Stories, and through Insta Stories, you actually can get a lot more viewers looking at your content. And so what I did was, for the 65 bakers, amateur cooks who signed up to participate, I provided them ahead of time informational, educational slides that has statistics of the rise in anti-Semitism, that has education about who the Jews are as a community, that has information about the Holocaust and Humanity Museum and what the bake sale is and why we're doing it. Mm-hmm. So when all these 65 bakers who have probably a combined reach of 100,000 people, 200,000 people post that information, that's how we're getting the education out. 200,000 people.
So basically, my understanding is that you are trying to reach other Jews who, in order to strengthen them during this time. Is this?
I think it's certainly that. I think the other side is the progressive left who tends to not understand what anti-Semitism is.
You want to change their mind?
I want to educate. I don't think I can change anyone's mind, but I want to bring them the opportunity informally on that anti-Semitism is not up for debate.
Do they listen to you?
It's a passive experience, Instagram. So I have no idea, you're taking a chance, right? I have no idea who is reading this and saying to themselves, oh, I really, need to rethink why I'm not supporting my Jewish neighbors.
In JTA item, Jewish Telegraphic Agency item that talked about you, I found that there was only 2 people, non-Jew, who have joined this action.
Right.
Now, are they still the only 2 non-Jewish people?
As bakers, we'll probably have 4, but in terms of folks who have donated or bought goods, there's been a nice, number. But certainly, in order so that we're not talking to an echo chamber of other other Jews, I would have loved to have more participation from allies who aren't Jewish.
Now, I understand that when you lived in Los Angeles, and I'm just going by what I found on the internet about you, not through my special connection in CIA.
Okay. Do you have a special connection to the CIA?
Well, it's like this. I write to them. They don't answer. That is my connection.
Okay.
but long time ago, when they tried to recruit me, when I was exiled from the Soviet Union, and I told them to go F yourself
Sure, sure,
because
sure,
I
sure,
do
sure, sure,
not
sure.
work for any government. They got a little bit upset at me. So maybe
That's probably why they're
that is
not
the
calling
reason
you
they don't
back.
respond. Yes. In any case, so when you were living in California, you
Hmm.
were, I understand, active participant in trying to um, make life of people who trying to get to the United States from Mexico easy.
Hmm. Yes, very passively. I'm not sure I did any good, but more than anything, raise awareness about the issue. Yes.
Now, so you were in contact with many organizations and people who were trying to do the same, right?
Not so much organizations, but I did reach out to local LA foodies, bakers, chefs to get them involved in it.
So
Yes.
also people who eat. You 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 don't talk to people who starve like me,
I
right?
only talk to people who eat, who want to eat. Yes.
So those people, did they respond? I mean, did they
Yes.
remember the good things that you've done with them for others? Did those others and their representatives, did they respond and said, Jews helped us, maybe we should do something for Jews?
It's more like it wasn't so much. I mean, the folks that I was trying to help, the community I was trying to help, is still doesn't even have the capacity to have a cell phone, much less, me. I'm a very privileged white woman, Jewish white woman, so I'm not in contact with people whose children were in cages. But in terms of contacting the other foodies who put their name, in their big outreach of hundreds of thousands of followers, they didn't respond to me at all
So they
when it
like,
came to this.
I understand, they like helping
Right.
South Americans, but they just don't like helping Jews.
It's for apparently for folks who are activists, this is where their activism stops.
Wow.
This is what
This
I
is
found.
surprising to me because I thought that everybody would be helping Jews.
No, unfortunately.
No, not
Sadly, no.
everybody, right?
Yeah.
Well, in any case, this is very disappointing, I guess, not only to me, but to many other people. And therein lies my next question.
Okay.
It's not only non-Jews
Right.
that don't care about what happens to certain Jews, to other Jews,
Hmm.
but there's certain big portion of our people that never raised their voice in defense of Jews who are being attacked and killed in New York, in
Right.
Los Angeles, in other places, in Florida, and they still call themselves Jews. The guy who serves Ilhan Omar,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
he never raised his voice. He raises his voice only in defense, of Ilhan Omar. He gets paid by
Hmm.
her, of course, so that is understandable. But uh, and he claims when he defends her that he is a Jew. Now, I need to do something, but I don't know if he is a Jew. I do not know who the Jew is today, but I know that you are.
Well, that's the great thing about our community is that we are diverse of thought, and the only prerequisite is that your mom is Jewish and that you have a Jewish
Well, I
matrimonial.
expanded more. It's not only for me. It's not only mom is Jewish. For me, either way, either father is Jewish.
Sure. I guess my point is that you can have every kind of thought or belief system, but you still get to be a Jew, right? I don't get to tell you just because you didn't participate or this or raise your voice in the way I would like to or that I'm comfortable with. That doesn't mean, I get to determine whether or not your status of Jew.
Mm.
I was certainly frustrated by prominent Jewish foodies who chose to either ignore my message when we've been communicative in other ways or have just flat out said, no, I can't, or I'm too nervous or I'm too scared, you know, and I have to respect that. Mostly that's because I have just a different mindset. I'm a social worker by training. I've been this kind of out loud advocate for every possible population for decades. I'm more comfortable in this role than others.
So the
So
personality, you know, so the fact that you are brave, intelligent, educated, forward-looking, and a good Jewish mother of three beautiful kids
oh my
means
God.
nothing. It's not your fault, right?
It's all good luck and good education and
Yeah, I
you
understand.
know choices that I've made because I had the ability to do so. But you know, I've had many conversations the past couple weeks with Jewish friends who feel like they don't know how to say something, so they don't say anything. And I think a lot of it is fear, um, and a lot of it stopping other Jewish community members is we've been you know this term gaslit, like gaslighting. I think as Jews we've been gaslighted to for our entire existence. Every time that we raise our voice to say this is wrong, you're singling out the Jews, this is anti-Semitic, we're constantly being told, no, it's not, you don't, you know, like that's not anti-Semitic. So we've also, as American Jews specifically, just really taken that message in.
Mm.
We don't even believe anti-Semitism when it's staring us in the face.
We do not want to believe anti-Semitism when it's staring into our
I
face.
think it's want, and I think also we've just been programmed by our louder community members, non-Jewish community members, into minimizing our own concerns. You
Now, I
know,
have to say that, are you saying, are you, this is very interesting because, you know, I've been in the United States, for the last 48 years since I was exiled from the Soviet Union.
mm,
And uh, for most of this time, the situation of American Jews was very okay, very nice.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, I'm familiar a little bit with history of anti-Semitism in the United States in different periods. And my question to you is, are you feeling that we're going back to the time when Jews in the United States were second-rate people?
Oh Lord, I'm not sure. I don't know enough to make that call. What I will say is that for me, working on college campuses, it's certainly been eye-opening listening to colleagues who direct other Hillels, the frustration and pain that they go through just to support and advocate for their Jewish students to be able to live peacefully on campus as Jews. I think we've opened the door for anti-Semites to feel comfortable and welcome in the US. And that's concerning
What do you
for
think
sure.
did it? What do you think? What do you think happened?
I think what happened was social media and armchair activists and the way that people figured out that they could gain followers by putting out misinformation, by resharing things that they didn't know anything about. And I just think social media made it 50 times worse. And now, you know, students or celebrities my students' age, who have millions of followers, are also perpetuating this misinformation that's dangerous and violent. And it just, students ran with it. And we have an activist culture now. And, you know, it's like, I wear this hat for 2 weeks, I fight for this community for 2 weeks, and then I move on. So it's just like an amalgamation of so much, but I genuinely think social media is what made it so awful.
So you blame it on social media?
I think that really made the issue worse.
Well, 50 years ago or 30 years ago, it would have made things better. My feeling is a little bit different. My feeling is that America lost the need for Jews. During the Cold War period,
That's
America
interesting.
needed Jews. Therefore, yeah, I mean, let's not forget that during the war, Roosevelt did not want to do anything for Jews.
Yes.
In 50s, you could not walk here in Rogers Park in kippah.
Hmm.
Then in 60s, late 60s and 70s, 80s, during the Cold War, during when Soviet Jewish movement began in the Soviet Union, Jews became a very important ideological club in the hands of the United States in fighting Soviet Union. So
So interesting.
when Americans, when Soviets would tell Americans, look at this, how you treat blacks, the Americans would say, look how you treat Jews.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now Soviet Union no more. So now it seems like many Americans go back to the way they felt before. Look at this. Anti-Semitism among blacks always was 2-3 times higher than among whites.
Right.
And now with whites, I mean, I'm looking at this, that there's a gross misunderstanding of who Jews are, you say. We're not just a bunch of white people. I have to say,
Yes. That's exactly the quote I gave to another publishing or to a Cincinnati publisher this week. Was I just think that people think that Jews are just a bunch of white people. Like they don't understand how diverse of a culture we
in
are.
60s, blacks did not think of Jews as just another bunch of white people because there was no other bunch of white people that were helping them.
Right.
So what I'm saying is
That's a
that
great point.
situation has changed in the United States, and my feeling is that bake sale is a great thing at this time, but I think that we need more than just bake sales.
Oh, of course we do.
What do you think we need?
We need an entire shift of narrative, and we need people willing to we need non-Jews allies willing to risk social currency.
Who are those? I mean, I see evangelicals supporting Israel, but they don't touch anti-Semitism in the United States.
Right.
So which segment of American public you're talking about?
If like the Black Lives Matter movement would say something and really show up, that would be huge. But
really?
It'll never happen. Oh yeah.
They're tools of Farrakhan. Why would they say anything in defense of Jews or Israel?
But that wasn't what you asked me. You asked me who needs to. And so I'm saying,
of course,
right, your question was who needs to help? That is my answer, right? It's never going to happen. But if the question is who would help, that would help.
So can you think, can you just take a look, at the political field of different options and maybe mention some possibilities of becoming our allies?
Say it again. I don't understand. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I'm asking you to just imagine a field of different political alliances. Like, for example, intersectional movement found blacks, Asians, homosexuals, Mexicans, etc., etc., etc. Who do we now, and united all on the basis of hatred toward Jews? Nice. Who the Jews can find as potential allies in the United States?
I think I'm not really sure I can answer the question, but I just think that I have found allies in all sorts of communities, other vulnerable populations. So I can only go on my own.
So you just one second. You just said that you found allies.
2 more minutes, Alexander, and then
you just said that you found allies among those that need help.
Yeah.
I'm asking, can you find allies among those who can provide us help?
I mean, again, I have personally, I'm not sure, I just don't know enough about politics to maybe give the answer that you'd like, but I have found beloved friends, neighbors who have been supportive, who have said, like, how can I be involved? How can I help? How can I raise awareness? So I personally have, and I think the more that we can just educate and bring in any modality possible, so this is just the modality I know, the more awareness we bring, it can only do good, I hope.
Well, I hope that your approach will produce some positive for Jewish people results.
Amen. Me too.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thank you for the time, Whitney.
Thank you
and
so much.
I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
We're going to put links to some articles about you and to your Instagram website. So, and encourage people that would like to donate to your good cause to donate.
Thank you, Alexander. Lovely meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Take
Whitney,
care.
you have a great day.
You too. Bye.